Hi, remote learners. This is Mrs. Childers, and this is part one, which is actually coming after your part two. I forgot to put it on video. I just did photo. So let me talk to you for a few minutes. You've got a handout that's posted called Adjectives That Compare. And this is the last piece of information about adjectives that you need for your test. I thought I would save the easiest for last. So another category that we can break adjectives into is positive, comparative, and superlative. So most things when we describe them with adjectives, they're in the positive format. We say the sky is blue, the hard floor, the giggly girls, the beautiful sunset. That's a positive form. But if we're going to compare two nouns, then we need to change it. We need to put it in a comparative form. And you do that by adding ER at the end or putting more in front of it. So a rule of thumb that isn't hard and fast, but it's a good guideline, is that if the word is 2 syllables or less, you'll add ER at the end. If it's more than 2 syllables, you'll add more at the beginning. So if you look at this sheet, you can see smooth and smoother. And I gave the example in class today. If I compared my whiteboard to my bulletin board, I would say the whiteboard is smoother than the bulletin board. So comparative is when we compare two things. Superlative is when we compare more than two things. So if I said, and we're going to add EST at the end or most at the beginning. So if I said, of all the boards in my room, this whiteboard is smoothest, I would use superlative because I'm comparing more than two things. And you can see that, busy, busier, busiest. So I might say that I am busier than Mrs. Kolb, but I probably wouldn't say that I'm the busiest of all the dialectic staff. That would be comparing more than two people, so I would use the superlative. And so you can look through this sheet and you can see now a little bit longer words. Now splendid is 2 syllables, but we're still going to say more splendid. So this is where I say it's a guideline. It's not a hard, fast rule. Delighted, that's 3 syllables, and you would say more delighted or most delighted. Now what follows after that is a bunch of irregulars that you just need to know. And even though people really love to say the word gooder, it is poor grammar. So you would not say that my grades are getting gooder. You would say my grades are getting better. So good is better or best. Well is the same thing, better or best. Bad, same thing. You wouldn't say my brother is badder than me. You would say my brother is worse than me. Or of everyone in my family, my brother is the worst. Much, more, most, many, more, most. And then I want to point out little, and this is going to pick up with your class video, so there might be a little bit of overlap, but you've got 2 types of little. You have little that describes amount and little that describes size. So if I said, I have a bowl of cereal, I have a little cereal, and compared to Graciela, I have less cereal than Graciela. There's 2 of us comparing. But of everyone in my family, or if I compared to Graciela and her brother, I would say I have the least cereal because I'm comparing more than 2 people. Now, the same thing with little. Size, actually not the same thing, it's different. With little, if it refers to size, you say littler or littlest. So I could say of my 2 cats, Finn is littler than Monet, but of my 3 pets, Finn is the littlest. Okay, and I think you can pick up with the rest of this from the video in class.